the Cowboys are likely, air quotes likely, to does Shefty know he's being used when he reports these things?
God,
is that fair for me to
days.
say? The Cowboys are likely to release Amari Cooper. You retweeted it. You know what it meant. It's a very clumsy and thinly veiled effort to try to get trade offers for Amari Cooper. So they get Shefty to do it under the unspoken or spoken guys that, when they do something with Amari Cooper, they'll be sure to we'll let you know first, Shefty, and, whatever other move we're going to make, we'll let you know. You're helping us out here. Fire up this trade market for Amari Cooper. Of course, that's what they were doing and giving it to him, and he knows what he's doing by being part of it. What they're trying to do is to get someone to take Amari Cooper's contract off their hands, and if they can't find someone to do it, they will cut him. And that is not a surprise for one very important reason. When he signed that contract 2 years ago, 5 years, $100 million, it was a 2-year, $40 million deal. The guaranteed money's over. It's gone. He's got no protection, and he's not a $20 million a year guy. So this may be as simple as, let's get the word out that we're looking to trade him. And let's also see if we can't find a trade offer, what we're willing to pay him, and let him unofficially gauge the market through his agent to see what else someone will pay him, because maybe he just decides to take whatever we're willing to offer him on a reduced salary. That's a very possible outcome here, Myles. Not a trade, but Cooper taking less to stay with the Cowboys when his agent realizes that the Cowboys are willing to pay him as much as anyone else will, so why leave? Why leave? Just accept the pay cut. So it may not be a precursor to a trade, maybe a precursor to going to him with an offer that he can't refuse, otherwise he's going to be a free agent.
Right, and it's interesting, too, because this is a guy that, was paid as the highest paid receiver in the league, but didn't really put up those kinds of numbers. I mean, he is really, middle of the pack just in terms of what a receiver is, in when it comes to production from last year into what you would want a guy that's being paid as much he's being paid for that position. I mean, even if the Cowboys had won the Super Bowl and Amari Cooper had gone off in the playoffs and all these different things, I don't know that the Cowboys would really want to pay him $20 million just for next season, especially when that is not guaranteed. I mean, that's basically what you're saying, in that when they signed that contract, it was 2 years, $40 million. Great. Now he's earned that. So if the Cowboys want to come back to him and say, look, we'll give you X amount of money, we'll guarantee you some more salary so you can stay here, you can be a part of this offense, you can be productive and all that. Like, that's something that I can understand where Amari Cooper might decide to do it. But, I mean, you're not wrong in that when these things get leaked at this time of the year, it's really to see on the off chance, maybe there's some team with cap space that really wants to say, hey, we want Amari Cooper. That guy can really, really help us. We believe in him. He's about to turn 28. He should still be in the prime of his career, even though he had like 865 yards receiving last year. Like that, it's a guy that we believe in and we think he's going to fit our system. The Cardinals did that last year with Rodney Hudson, right? The Raiders put out, hey, we're going to get rid of him. So, we're going to release him. So if you want him, man, he's right there for the taking. And then the Cardinals, I think, traded like a second or third round pick for him. So these things sometimes work. I don't know if it's going to work in this case, given what the salary parameters are. But if somebody wants to sign him and then restructure that contract once he gets there to give him a little bit more of a guarantee in terms of pay and all that kind of thing, I could sort of see that happening too.
He has another $20 million that becomes fully guaranteed as of March 20. So that's the deadline for the Cowboys to do something, and it will not be a surprise if they move on from him. They are trying to keep some of the other guys they currently have. Obviously, they're looking to build around CeeDee Lamb, but there has been some reporting that Michael Gallup is closing in on a contract to stick around. And we kind of saw this when they drafted CeeDee Lamb. That made it even more clear that Amari Cooper's not going to be there for more than 2 years. And look at it this way. They got one more year before they have to pay CeeDee Lamb. So at the very most, it would be one more year with Amari Cooper on a restructured contract. But even then, I don't think he's going to be there. He would have to be willing to take whatever they're willing to pay. I think they focus on keeping Gallup and Cedric Wilson, and there are the rest of their notable free agents as they head toward the start of the new league year, Myles. And look, everybody's got to deal with this every year. You've got guys who are going to become free agents. The question is, how much money do you want to devote to the guys you have, and how much money can you devote to guys you don't have? Every team is very ruthless when it comes to looking at the roster and asking themselves, do we keep the guys we have? Do we go sign new guys? You rip the name off the back of the jersey and you make a decision. And Amari Cooper is finding himself smack dab in the middle of that analysis, Myles.
Yeah, he is. But Mike, I still think that he can go somewhere and he can be productive. I mean, you look at the reaction by everybody today once that Schefter report comes out, and it's like, whoa, yeah, like this team should be interested and this team should be interested. And I mean, I have TweetDeck set up so I see all these guys, different beat writers and whatnot, so we can, can generate posts off of that. And it's like, boy, I think probably the majority of beat writers on the internet today were like, yeah, this is probably a guy that you might want to look at because he can probably fit there for you. So who knows what it's going to turn into. But I certainly think that if there's not a trade market for Amari Cooper, then there's going to be a pretty robust market for his services. Because, again, he's going to turn 28. He's not on that wrong side of 30 that we always talk about. He still has some good prime years left. So we'll see if he can get to another place that fits him and that he fits the scheme and he can be that kind of productive guy, or if eventually he just takes a pay cut and stays with Dallas.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.